Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Hale and I'm going to be your instructor for English 1100. I wanted to make an introductory video, not only to introduce myself, but to also walk you through some important first steps to get you started with our course. The first thing you're going to want to do is log on to Blackboard, and then at the top you'll see a tab that says My Courses. From there, you'll see a list of the courses that you are enrolled in. For now, let's go to English 1100. Our section is 006. And you're going to see some announcements. And now I set these so that they automatically go to your email, which is my first piece of advice to you is to make sure that you're checking your Columbus State email every day. Now, I won't necessarily email you every day, but that is going to be the primary way that your instructors communicate with you. So you're going to want to stay on top of that. Let's start off by going to orientation. Start here. It's this tab over here on the left of your screen. And you're going to see a whole bunch of tabs up top here full of useful information to get you started. I want to begin with the first one here. And now I'm not going to read any of this information to you really. This is something that you should read on your own time. I just kind of want to walk you through some of the things that are available to you. So on this first tab, you will see a welcome note from me. And then let's jump to an important note about accessing this course. So this is a quick little note here. I recommend using Blackboard on your computer, possibly on a tablet. I don't have as much experience with that myself. What I do know is that the Blackboard app is not always super reliable, so you typically want to use a browser on your computer. And then actually, let's jump ahead to, let's see here, technical requirements right below that. So this gives you a list of technical requirements. These are sort of the minimum qualifications that your device should have in order to be able to navigate Blackboard effectively. One thing that I'll note is you definitely should not use Internet Explorer when trying to use Blackboard. Internet Explorer is not super reliable in general. I've also had a lot of students have trouble uploading documents while using Internet Explorer. If you use Google Chrome, Firefox, Safari, any of those browsers should be fine. And then now let's go to Blackboard orientation. Blackboard orientation, if you follow this link, it will take you to a tutorial on how to use Blackboard. If you have never used Blackboard before, or maybe if you've taken a class in the past that used Blackboard a little bit, but not very extensively, I would recommend working your way through this orientation. Our class is going to be completely on Blackboard. It's pretty much the only thing we're going to be using, so you'll really need to know how to use it in order to be successful in the class. Here in this tab, we have some help for distance learning, which is what we are doing because we have an online class. Next tab over, we have a list of tips for success that you'll want to read through. Next, we have netiquette. Netiquette is the etiquette or the sort of code of behavior that you want to follow while engaging with people on the internet. So these are just sort of some guidelines for how to respectfully interact with both me and your fellow peers that you'll be taking this class with. Next, we have student resources. I'm going to click on this big blue button here. Student resources, as a student of Columbus State, you have access to a lot of things that are designed to help you succeed. I have a bunch of links here under Get Help. Important ones would probably be the IT Support Center. They can help you out with technology issues. And the Columbus Campus Student Central is also where you're going to handle a lot of your issues with registration and financial aid, things of that nature. Academic support, we have the calendar. And also, if you have any learning disabilities that you need accommodations for, you can follow this link and they can help you out. Let's see here. We also have some links down here at the bottom if you want to get some tutoring. Also, if you would like to get help with your writing at the Writing Center. Let's see here. A whole bunch of things here if you are a new student. I know for a lot of people, this is sometimes the very first class that you take at Columbus State. Some people are just right out of high school. Some people are in high school. Some people haven't been to school in years. So there's a lot of people who this information for new students could be very helpful. So I'd make sure to take a look at that. Let's see here. As a Columbus State student, you also have access to counseling services. Now, I'm not sure how that is functioning with social distancing and quarantine going on, but you may still have access to free counseling service as a Columbus State student. I think that's good for now. There's a lot of other useful things here that you can check out on your own. Next, let's go to the IT Support Center. This is where you can go if you need help with your computer or with navigating Blackboard. Sometimes I can answer those sorts of questions, but other times it's beyond my knowledge. So these are very good people to contact if you need tech help. Have a link to disability services here, a link to some info on the library. This tab, the CSCC policy statements, these are going to be, actually, let's take a look at these real quick. Policy statements, so these are sort of overarching rules or policies that Columbus State students are supposed to follow. We have your student handbook here. Again, list of student resources that you can have access to. One of the things I want to point out, we have military and veteran services, so if that applies to you, you may want to check that out. Again, disability services. And something I want to pause on for a moment here is Title IX. Title IX is a piece of federal legislation that protects you from any sort of discrimination or harassment, whether it be racial, ethnic, religious, gender, sexuality. It even protects you from discrimination if you're like a mother, for instance. So these are the people that you will want to go to if you ever feel like you are being harassed or discriminated against in basically any way. At Columbus State, we want to make sure that you feel comfortable and that you can learn in an environment that you are not feeling threatened in. You can also use me as a resource for this. If you feel more comfortable talking to me than you do to these people, I can also help get you connected to the resources that you need. All right, let's go back to our orientation page here. A link to the handbook, again, link to writing tutoring, and then also you have a link here to the Purdue Online Writing Lab. This is a really helpful source for MLA formatting, which is the type of formatting you're going to be using for all of your papers in this class. Next, let's go to course information. And let's start with how this course works. So here you'll find explanations of the buttons that you're going to see over here on the left. Next, we have your syllabus. It's important that you read through this on your own sometime. Your syllabus is going to include some of the policies that our course is going to follow. It's going to give you a detailed description of what this course is. It's going to have your grade breakdown. It's going to have brief descriptions of the major writing assignments that you're going to do. So there's a lot of helpful information in the syllabus. Next, we have faculty info. This is just some info about me, if you would like it. Calendar and due dates, we have an explanation of the types of assignments you're going to be doing, as well as when those things are due. So I imagine that you'll want to look at this and probably write some of these things down. Grading criteria is an explanation of how you are going to be graded in this class. We also have instructions for how to submit work. We have some info here about typically how long it will take me to get you feedback on different things. And then I think the last thing I want to talk about here is a composition reading bank. We'll be doing some readings in this class. Some of our readings are going to be online. And there is a required textbook for this class. If you buy the online version, that's fine. You can also buy the physical copy. And then we're going to be doing some readings from this composition reading bank. If you click this, it will take you there, and you will see all the different readings are organized by subject matter. And we also have a table of contents here where you can find things based on an alphabetical organization. All right, let's see. Okay, and with that, let's take a look real quick at our classroom. So this is where you're going to be doing pretty much all of your work. If you scroll down here, you're going to see each week of the term. We have a folder. They're all nice and color coded. We have dates here for when the different weeks are. And let's go ahead and click on week 1. Oh, real quick. On each of these little things here, you'll see a list of what is due, which should be helpful. All right, let's take a look at week 1. First of all, you will see up here in the right-hand corner is an arrow button and how many pages are in this module. So this is page 1 out of 10. You can click here to advance to the next module. And then also over here on the left, you're going to see a list of all the different pages that are in this module, and the title of each of the tasks that you're going to need to do throughout the week. I'm going to go ahead and go to task 1.2. So this is the first actual piece of homework you're going to need to do. You have a discussion board post due by 11:59 on Wednesday. Here are the instructions for how to do that. And then if you go over here to the left, you'll see a tab that says discussion board. From there, you'll see all the different discussions that we're going to be doing over the course of the term. For week 1, you're obviously going to want to go to week 1. And in order to make your post, you're going to click create thread. You're going to enter the subject of your thread, and then you can type your response here. Sometimes the discussion instructions will tell you to upload a document instead of typing in this box. When it asks you to upload a document, that means you need to type up your response in a separate Word doc and then upload it using this button, Browse My Computer. Once you're done putting in all the info here, you'll click Submit down here in the right-hand corner. All right, I'm going to go back to our classroom. And then one thing I'll say real quick, you'll see that you have 8 tasks to do this week. Now, that's not 8 different assignments necessarily. Each week, you're only going to have a few things that you actually need to turn in, but there is a lot of reading and videos to watch and lots of useful information that is spread out through each of these tasks. So you do want to make sure that you're looking at all of these and reading through them pretty carefully. But let's jump ahead to submit your week 1 assignments. Each of your weekly modules is going to end with a place for you to submit your work. You'll see that you have some assignments due by 11:59 on Sunday. You'll see how many points that those are worth, the due date, and there's always going to be an indicator of what tasks you need to submit. For this week, you are just submitting your writing for task 1.7. In future weeks, there will be multiple tasks that you have to submit. Just follow the instructions. And very similar to the discussion board, you're going to want to type up your responses or whatever the writing is in a separate document. Click Browse My Computer to upload that document, and then click Submit. One quick sort of tip here, you want to be careful about labeling your documents. A very common problem that I have is students uploading the wrong copy of something. So always make sure to give your files a descriptive, accurate title that indicates what the assignment is. Because if you don't upload the right thing, I can't grade the right thing. So make sure that you're careful about both labeling and uploading the right documents. Okay, let's see here. I think that is a pretty good overview for now. You'll see a link to a description of our writing projects. You'll see a link to your grades, to some student samples that you can use as inspiration for your own work, and then a link down here to email me. For now, I think that's it. I do want to give you some general tips for moving forward. The first is to be aware that you have work due every week. This is a summer class, so we're taking what we would normally be doing in 16 weeks and we're condensing it down into 11. So we're going to be moving pretty quickly and cramming in a lot of stuff in a relatively short amount of time. So you're always going to have something due. Pretty typically, you're going to have three things due a week. Often that will be two posts or replies on the discussion board, and then a collection of things that you need to submit by Sunday. So, a good thing for you to do now is to go into your planner or into your calendar, and on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, make a little note that you have work due. And your work is always going to be due by 11:59, so you don't have to really try to remember what specific time things are due. It's always due at the same time and on the same days. But I would make a note of that to help keep track of that information. My next tip is, and this maybe goes without saying, but try to make sure you read everything. I will be uploading videos where I explain some things or I walk you through different stuff by sharing my screen with you. But in general, this is a very self guided class. And if you are skipping over things, you're not watching the videos, you're not thoroughly reading instructions, there are going to be important things that you miss. So it is a lot of reading. You'll want to break things down into small chunks. You'll want to pace yourself, but make sure that you're keeping up with all of it. Otherwise, it'll be pretty easy to fall behind. Let's see here. Are there any other tips I want to give you for now? I think those are the main ones. If I think of any more later on in the week, I will upload a video, but that should be enough to get you started for now. Good luck on your first week of class. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me.